What up, now? We're rocking out today.
What's happening? Good
How's
morning.
everybody? How you feeling, Doc?
I'm feeling good, baby. How you doing? What's up, everybody? Another
You know how it
Saturday.
is.
Yeah, another Saturday. Another was it the January 25th. Month is blowing by, and today, these next 4 or 5 weeks are all about making the tournament. So be careful of what you're seeing early in the year. Some things have changed. Some teams have changed. Some got better. Some got worse. That whole not, we're learning as we go along. I've been at this college basketball thing for a couple of years. It's not a thing like I've been at like baseball and stuff. So I keep on plugging along and learning new things, and we've been holding our own. So we're gearing up for March Madness. But I'll tell you, the way some teams play in conference and out of conference, the step up in competition sometimes when they're playing inside their conference instead of the teams that they scheduled outside. A lot of variables in this game. But I love doing it, and like I said, we've been holding our own. So there you go. It's
Well,
still a
for me,
basketball
Dom,
game. It's still a round ball, right? It's still a round ball and a round hoop, man.
absolutely.
So go ahead.
Big shout out to Pooh Dangles in the chat. He says, fight on, Notre Dame killer. You know, Notre Dame lives rent free in this guy's head, man. I'm telling you. So that's how he woke up. Of course, I'm on to bigger and better things with Notre Dame. How about that? And let's give a shout out to our guy Ix who puts his plays up today. Pelicans, Hornets, under 226 and a half. Y'all go get that, fresh from the live sweat boys over there. And also Pistons and Magic under 211 and a half. And he says right here, if you if you're feeling real frisky, go ahead and parlay it for a plus 947. So that's it from the NBA. We need our guy X to come in and do some NBA with us,
There
man.
you go. Yeah, he's been hot this week. He's been on fire. He was playing those early games too. They were in Europe or something. I'm so bad with the NBA.
Uh,
I don't follow it at all. It's just something that went by the wayside over the years for me. But anyhow, yeah, without a doubt. Smart Money Bets has an NHL play. Boston money line plus 120. Yeah, it's getting down to it too. That's going to be. I see the Rangers are trying to play a little bit better, but what a disappointment so far this year. The last week or so, they won a couple games, but then they had like a 5-0 win finally, and then they lost the next night. They're a team that's New York hockey teams are not up to par. That's for sure. The Islanders, the Rangers, not this year. So anyway,
Smart Money got a plus 120 for y'all. My
yes,
man
yeah,
Pooh
on the
Dango
Boston
says,
Bruins.
don't forget his boxing bet. He's on in the Canelo and Crawford fight. Crawford plus 180. So we'll see how that goes. That's much further down the line though. But let's you ready to jump into it?
I'm ready. Let's
Let's
do it.
jump into it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go first right here. This
Go
is
ahead.
North Florida versus West Georgia. This West Georgia team is new to the conference. This is basically a rinse and repeat for me. I caught this same line earlier this week. It did the same exact thing that we're doing today. They wouldn't allow me to bet the game to later on in the day. And same thing right here, but it's also a penalty for this, so I had to pay what? Let me make sure what it is. I think it's 8.5. I got right here on North Florida. Oh no, 7.5. I got the 7.5 on this one. No, we talking about. I'm all mixed up. We talking about North Florida. Yeah, still 7.5 right here.
Yeah,
So
7.5. Yeah.
yeah, West Georgia new to Division One at this level, new
Yes.
to this conference. North Florida's not the top of the conference, but they do well. They do what they do. The stats line up perfectly for me. Um, let me take a look at the stats so I can show you some of the insight on this game right here, which is pretty good. Let's go to
You had West. Who did you have against West Georgia the other day? Jacksonville. Who was it
uh
that you had?
Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Exactly, it was
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, and they crushed them. They beat them up. They beat them
Yeah,
up.
they
And
beat
that
them up
line, and
pretty
I
good.
remember that line. You took them at what, like 7.5, I believe, and that line went up to -10 at tip off.
At
And I
one
remember
point in time,
watching it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
right before tip off, it went up to 10. So a lot of money went to that game, and but you got a great line on it, and I think the 10 covered anyhow. But that's besides the point. But I
yeah.
don't
The
blame you
team
for
would have
going
covered too.
against right. Um,
Rinse and repeat, man. You got to follow us. You got to check out our daily picks. The daily pick, like Don Ricci said, was Jacksonville versus this West Georgia team. Now we got Northern Florida. Northern Florida scores 81 points. West Georgia barely puts up 66 a game. West Georgia does have a slight edge on the defense, giving up 79.1 points a game, which is horrible anyway. But North Florida gives up 86, so that's even more. But at the same time, effective field goal percentage, North Florida shooting 53.2% to West Georgia's 46.6%. Offensive rebounds, they beat them 25% to 24%. So a lot of plus sides to this North Florida team. I
yeah,
didn't just take them, when I do when I do my edge, I don't just take teams simply because they fit the motto. Sometimes you have to dig a little further. And in this one, once again, on the ATS side of things, last five they were 2-2-1. They're coming off of a win ATS. They're 8-9-1 overall, which is much better than West Georgia, who is 8-11 overall. And then West Georgia at home is 1-4 ATS, and this team on away is 6-5. So they're doing better away. They playing a lesser opponent. These two teams never really played before either. Yeah,
and
no,
if I don't have it in front of me, I don't have it in front of me. But I bet if I looked on Ken Palm, their strength of schedule for North Florida is a lot better than West Georgia. So, and I
oh,
see that
absolutely.
North Florida is dominant in the first half. They're about 9 points. They average almost 46 points in the first half, and they got a dominant 3 point percentage. So, you know, hopefully,
Yeah.
this now a team like this West Georgia team, another 5, 6, 7 games, that might be a team that starts getting better and better. They're playing better and better competition, and meanwhile, what I'm saying. So yes, Res Mob, that is why I am always next to him as much as I can, baby.
He said he was looking at Northern Florida, but do I like Northern Arizona or Stephen F. Austin tonight? I didn't look at those games, man. I would have to
we
get a
could,
chance later on
I
in the
can kind
show.
of
I could
look
get
it
a
up as
chance.
we go. I'll keep it
I
in
could
mind.
double
Yeah,
back, yeah. Or
I'll keep it
while
in mind.
I don't know why I'm so used to being on camera with Big Ragu and Dom Ricci. They mix me up. These Italian
Uh
guys, they're all the
oh.
same, man.
You ain't going there, are you?
Let's go to the next game though. So I'm on Northern Florida -7.5 in that one. Next game is
uh,
at 2:30. This is your game, Kentucky Vanderbilt.
yeah, the Kentucky Vanderbilt. I'm starting off with a banger, right? This game, everybody loves Kentucky, and Kentucky has played well, especially at home, but not so great on the road. Their offense is different on the road than it is. It's different on the road than it is at home. This Vanderbilt team is a team that's been playing better and better. They also is one of those Saturday teams that we talk about that seem to always be in the mix. Listen, I probably would have took them as a favorite, Vanderbilt, but I took them +2.5. The line that opened at 3.5, so some money went that way. For me, Vanderbilt their offense is better than the Kentucky defense, and that which is really ranked pretty low. I didn't even knew it was ranked this high or low, however you want to put it. Kentucky's defense is 274th, and the opposition's 2 point defense. So, right there, Vanderbilt could get their shots off. I got plus money with them. So that's where I went. Vanderbilt
That's
+2.5, and that was. I think maybe I gave you the line with the juice. I didn't write it down, but oh yeah, +2.5. There you go. Yeah,
oh yeah, you got a back to back too, because next game is yours too. Georgia at Florida. It's at 3:30 Eastern time.
that's
What you
another
got on
one,
that one?
man. Listen, automatically, I'm sure a lot of people be like, you're on an under in the Florida game, but yeah, Florida, they was averaging 80 something points a game, but they seem to be not scoring as many points as they were. They were off a 1 point I think win the other night where they should have blew that team out. Georgia and Florida both rank in the top six nationally in 3 point shot percentage defense. So both the teams stop the other team's 3 points. Georgia is third in the country in rebounds. Florida is ninth in the nation in allowing points possession. Georgia's 17th. So these defenses I think, are just gonna can cut down the offenses that we usually are known for scoring more points. And I took that under in that game. What was it? One. What did I take? You have it written down. Let me see.
Oh no, I don't.
Where's our
It's on my
banners?
phone.
Okay, here it is. Under 148 and a half minus 109. That was at Bet Rivers. There you go. So that's what I took. I got the Florida on the Florida's home after, like I said, after a game that they should have won big. I think Georgia can keep that number down a little bit, and there we go. I took that's what I took on the 148 and a half.
Okay. To answer our guy Daryl in the chat's question about Northern Arizona and Idaho, just took a quick look at it. Northern Arizona, um, they have a slight edge on both sides, offense and defense, but it's just a slight edge. But history of the series right there, the away team's been smashing, and Arizona's the away team today. So, yeah, +3 is a good spot, but me nowadays, I like to take these games at a risk on the live and hope to get, maybe, more than 3 or, to get a better line on that one. But let's move on into the next game right here, which is this one right here, Coppin State and Morgan State. This was a big one, Don. This was a big one. Um, I jumped on this one early. This was the first one I capped out of the card right here, and this was last night. And then last night I tried to get it; it wasn't even on the board yet. It was at 7.5 last night, but it's all the way up to 8.5 today.
Right.
It'll probably even go higher. Morgan, this Morgan State team definitely wins on offense. They're scoring 76 points a game compared to Coppin State's 58. And on defense, they allow a little more out there too. But offensive rebounds, they're 28% to 22%, and effective field goal percentage, they're 50%. So nice spot for a 7.5. It's a very, very low game. None of those bookie guys got time to cap this. It's a really low matchup right here. So I think the numbers is loose. This game is loose right here. I took it all the way. I could go a little further into the ATS look at this one. All arrows pointing to Morgan State ATS. I mean, they're 5-2 at home. They playing at home. They're even 6-3 in the last 10, 4-1 in the last 5. They won their last 3 by ATS, so they're really putting it up. And they're playing this team, Coppin State, that everybody's been getting a little piece of Coppin State. Only thing we have to even worry about is Coppin State waking up on a Saturday feeling some kind of way and go out and try to do a little more than they normally do. But next one too is mine, Prairie View and Alabama State right here. This one, let me pull it up. This one was a little harder to cap. This one was a little harder to cap. I went through this one a couple times, and I came out with Alabama State every time though. Let me pull it up. This one comes on at 4 p.m. Man, so many games on a Saturday. It is hard to find games. Even when it's time to bet, you got to really look through it to find your game. Let me see. Alabama State and Prairie View. Prairie View is a 347. The only thing that I seen in this matchup that kind of worried me was it was a little bit of the head to head. So in the past, these teams been playing for a long time, every year, two
Yeah,
times a
why are they
year.
doing that?
In the past, and since 22, I'm 22 and before, Prairie View killed them every time. But in the last three meetings, Alabama State has been not only winning, but well, in the last two meetings they won and covered. In the last three meetings, they covered. In the last four meetings, they covered. So they're usually on the plus side of things. This time they're giving them a 7.5. This is a part of the number where I say, hey, they know that Alabama State is 10 points better than Prairie View, but they have to bring in money on both sides. And this one was stayed as open and live now at 7.5 all the way through. So no movement. That means nobody's really paying attention to this game right here, and it's another opportunity that we can to go ahead and then smash this one. Um, from ATL's, this is the worrisome part. From an ATS perspective, Prairie View's a little bit better. They're 7-7 on the road, 2-2 at home. They're 9-9 overall. Whereas Alabama State here is 2-1 at home, ATS, but they're 7-9-1 overall. They're 1-4 in the conference. They lost their last four by ATS, so it's a big number for them to cover. Sometimes with these 7.5s, it takes about two or three of them to get plus money in the money line parlay. Sometimes just put it on cruise control and take them on money line. But the bad part about that is, at the end of the day, when they cover, you be like, damn, I should have just covered the whole damn thing. Let me see what the chat is saying real quick. I got the next game is mine too. Oh, my man Daryl in the chat says thanks. Cavs and Pacers tonight. I think
How's the sound? How's the sound out there in the chat? I'm getting a lot of. I don't know. Maybe it's just me at home that which ain't a problem. Like, is anybody having
yeah,
any issues with our
I think
sound in the chat?
I think your signal's a little slow, Dom, because you're a little fuzzy on
Yeah, it
my
could be.
end.
Yeah.
Could be your
Okay, go
signal.
ahead.
I
Keep
know
going.
I had a lot of weather out there. Um,
Hell yeah.
let's go.
Well, we're having a heat wave
Let's,
now. It went up to 30. Go
my next game
ahead.
right here is St. Mary's at Washington State. Now this one landed on a number that I do not like. I do not really like 5.5s, but this one lands on 5.5s. But this is another edge that I've been using all year. Um, Teams switching conferences and all this kind of stuff. These two teams right here don't play each other much. Let me make sure. I think it might be the first time they ever met. And this St. Mary's team, the St. Mary team is the mini Gonzaga. They just can't get past. Well, sometimes they do now, but it takes a lot for them to get past Gonzaga. So they go into this one right here. Washington State is ranked 92. St. Mary's 39. Um, Let me see right here, head to head. These two teams haven't played since 2017, and they met again in 2009. Probably one was probably some invitational tournament, and the other one was in the big tournament. So this one, St. Mary's was by 6. It went down to 5.5. Two teams that haven't really met much, but I think this St. Mary team is kind of dominant, being that their little brother to Gonzaga. Whereas this Washington State team, they're fifth place in the WCC, and that's basically my edge on that one, man. That's where I'm going with that one. And then next game on the card, my man Don Ricci take over this one. Houston
Which
at
one do you got for me?
Kansas.
Which one is
Houston
it?
at Kansas. Houston
Oh,
at
okay.
Kansas.
Yeah, okay, I got you. I heard you. I heard you. Can you hear me now?
I hear
I
you.
went back. Yeah, I went back to screw around with the settings, and I could hear you better. So that's good. Let me just get back to my game here. You know what? One game I didn't give you, and I won't even go into it much. But this Texas A&M Texas game, I took Texas on the money line. It was +1 or -1 when I took it. I took it on the money line. Texas A&M is off a couple nice wins, and this could be a decent let down spot to Texas. So I did take them in that game -115. But this Kansas game, Houston at Kansas, I took the under 128 and a half -112. I took that at Bet Rivers. Kansas has hit in just two overs in 18 games this year. They're 2-16 to the under, and they face that Houston offense is just not what it was two years ago. Um, they're not shooting 3 points. Their offense, whose 3 point shooting ranks fifth in the nation, dips down almost 8 points when they're away from home. So they're shooting at home around 38%. When they go on the road, it's like the high 32s, almost 33%. So I think that's a big thing. They also lead the country, which is surprising, in the fewest points per possession allowed, and they're one of the worst teams. I forget how many teams are in the whole thing, but they're ranked 353rd in total possessions. So they lead the country in fewest possessions allowed. So their defense is stopping the other team big time, but their total possessions is one of the worst. So they're one of the slowest. I thought this other could even take it at maybe 125 and a half, maybe, 126 and a half. But I thought 128 and a half was doable. And I jumped on the under in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, there you go. Yep.
Then we next up is your last but not least bet right here: Kennesaw State at UTEP.
I like UTEP. Kennesaw State just beat me. I had Old Miss. I know New Mexico State was at home the other night with Kennesaw State. Kennesaw's jumped, and everything looked like what happens in sports and gambling. Everything pointed towards New Mexico State. Yet a line went up to 8, which I usually don't take those lines. Opened at 7, but I just thought they were dominant. Everything pointed towards New Mexico at home the other night, New Mexico State, and Kennesaw not only covered the 8 points, but they won. Stepping up last year, they were in like the A Sun. Now they're stepping up in competition, and I can't see them doing it 2 times in a row on the road. UTEP's a decent team. They rank 6th in the country in forcing turnovers. Um, Kennesaw State so far is in the 300s, low 300s, in 303 to be exact, in turnovers committed. They're also UTEP is also 19th in the country in 3 point shots. You know, I just can't see how UTEP don't blow them out in this game. Like I said, it's hard for a team, even especially stepping up from a less of a conference like the A Sun, to win 2 games on the road, to come out or even cover 2 games in a row. I thought that's maybe why this line was a little bit low. I thought -4.5 was. That's why I took it, obviously. -4.5 at 105. I would take this game at 6, 7. I really would. If it said -7.5 again today, I would have took it. I really love this team today. It's probably my favorite bet. UTEP
That's
at
cool.
home, Kennesaw
UTEP
State.
at home. You heard it here first on We Got Next. Next, but
You
last
heard
but
it
not
here
least, on
first.
college basketball as my money line parlay. These are some of my edges, kind of trimmed up because of whatever reason they'll probably win
Wait,
and
wait, the door.
cover. But instead, I just
FedEx.
put them on I just put them on money line. So we got Ball State who should win clearly. We got Illinois, Chicago, who should also win as well. And then Auburn, they got beat last week on Saturday. They got to turn it around. They want to stay the main team. So you got these three parlayed up. Money line for a plus 150, y'all. Before let me go into till Dom get back. Next up, let's talk a little NFL, y'all. Eagles and Commanders. Let me know in the chat who y'all on, the Eagles or the Commanders in the last game right here. What does my man Daryl says? Do we like the under in the Tennessee Auburn tonight? Let's take a look at that. I'm always Tennessee. Let's see what time that game comes on. Uh, the under in this one. Let's take a look at let's see where the line moved with that one. Opened up 141 and
Let's
it's
see.
141 and a half. It's been going down a little bit. And
So, what do you think
let's
about this
see
game?
what. they looking
Hey,
like?
DJ, what do you think about this game? This is a tough weekend. Last weekend I was keen
Let me
on like different players. I did player props last week, which I never do. These games are tough, but go ahead.
Yeah, let
The
me finish.
Commanders,
Let me finish this question out the chat with Tennessee and Auburn, the under. So Tennessee is 7-12 to the under. Auburn is 10-8 to the over. Both of them last game they played under. This one is kind of tough. Let me take a look at how they look matched up together.
I kind of
Um,
like Tennessee as a win. If I had to take a bet, I would take Tennessee outright. But I'm going to look it up too. See what I can find on this
Well, I
game.
took I took Auburn on the money line because Auburn lost last Saturday. They coming in this Saturday. They at home. They know they got to get it done right here. So I'm on Auburn in this one money line only though. But this Tennessee team defense is better than the Auburn team. I don't know. Sometimes you got two positive make a negative and all that kind of stuff. So both of these teams are really, really, really good on defense, which probably should be portrayed in the line even more at 141. This one should be in the 30 something technically, but Auburn can score. So they shooting at
Yes.
58% and
Oh
Tennessee.
yeah.
So I don't know. This might be an opposite effect. The over could be more. The books try to tell you a little bit that they're going to score some points because according to what they score defensively or what they allow defensively, this game should be the line should be more like 138, something like that. Is that a clear indicator of an under? Absolutely not, because the books might know something more than us, and that's why they put it a little much higher. So yeah, I would lean towards the over in this one. But we go. That's gonna be a tough game. But
What time is that game?
that game comes on at 8:30 Eastern time.
8 tonight, 8:30 tonight. So does that Xavier UConn game. That's another one that UConn better watch out.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the first half line. I'm going to take Xavier in that game first half.
But
Just
let me know.
go
Let's hear
ahead.
your look on these Eagles and
Yeah,
Commanders, and then I'll give my look on this game,
yeah. I was just
and I'll
trying to
tell you
find
guys
that
what I
Tennessee
bet.
game for you. Okay. Well, listen. Everything tells me. Everything wants me to is to bet the Commanders, right? But that's only because I'm not. I don't. I hate the Eagles. I hate the. But uh, if they, I can't say. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't think Hurt is one of the best quarterbacks. And I always think he's a little bit overrated. Um, I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. Both defenses hold down the opposition under 200 yards passing. I mean, can the Commanders? I mean, not last week it didn't happen, but up until coming into this game, they just been the winning games on the last plays. Winning one score games, things like that. Is that going to be like this kind of game? I don't know. I really don't. I couldn't pick a side. I took Dallas Goddard like I did last week over 41 and a half yards. I think in these playoff games, especially where a game like Philadelphia is going to be um, feeding Barkley, like which everybody knows, including the Commanders, they're going to be keen on him. A lot of times in these playoff games, I've had success in the past, and I'm not a prop player at all. So let's put that out there first. I've had success betting tight ends in these freaking playoff games, wild card games, playoff games. If you get a couple of these tight ends that are prominent in some of these games, I love going that way. I even took like a player prop parlay in this game. But if I had bet the game, I would tease the Eagles down to a pick 'em and then take it from there. Maybe all these games I feel the same way. I want Buffalo to win. I don't know if they're going to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs, every time you bet against the Chiefs, you lose. Uh, so, and the Chiefs aren't as even though their record shows different. They didn't play the really Chief ball all year until the last few games of the year. So are they one of those rare teams that could just flip the switch? I don't know. I mean, Jesus, how could Buffalo lose another one? But it's all emotion for me this week, DJ. I ain't gonna give out a pick that just for
Ah,
the hell of it. I'm trying to work on a teaser. So one end of the teaser is definitely, you know, This is one of those games where you can go both ends of the teaser. Washington, Philly, and then add that third. Because we like to do three teams, keep the 6.5 points or 6 points, um, and to do it with three teams because you get plus money all the time, plus 120, plus 130. Because the other way, two-team teasers, you're lucky to get a minus 130, which you should never play a two-team teaser over minus 120, they say, mathematically. I'm the least of a math whiz, but mathematically, say a two-team teaser over minus 120 is a losing bet, you know. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But I like doing the three teamer, so I like Philly as a pick 'em, and then take it from there. Maybe add Buffalo's up to two now, so if you add the 6 points or 6.5 points to Buffalo, you're over two key numbers, right?
Yeah.
And another thing with my teasers, I tried my best to keep at least two of the three teams on the half point, so you don't get fucked with that push and you lose crap. So that's always in mind for me when I play my teasers. I know I went off I went into more rambling and gambling than pick. But that's what I would say. I would take Dallas Goddard over 41.5 yards. I would throw Philadelphia in the teaser. How they're going to be home and lose this game? Wow, would be great. Would an upset. And the NFL would hate it. which I love more of those bastards. So
Well,
what about you? What about
I
you,
got
Steve?
first of all, this Commanders and Eagles game. So everybody's wild on the Commanders. Daniels and them did a good job last week.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at this game from a quarterback matchup only. Eagles got some defense in there.
yeah,
Eagles got a couple coaching edges in there, and these Commanders just a really young group that they
yeah,
they have the fire to get there. But we seen what happened with Houston last week. They had
yep,
that fire the first week. The following week after that, they shot they load.
yep.
Commanders could be in a position right here where they could just get kind of big brothered and pushed out because they're just a little too young. So for the Commanders, it'll either be here. If the Commanders win, they'll get pushed out in the Super Bowl.
It's
If
house
they,
money though they're playing with, right? It's all house
yeah,
money for them. Eagles are
yeah,
expected to win, right? So it's all Commanders are on the house money, which makes them a little bit dangerous. But I agree with
right.
you. Sooner or later, I agree with you. You
Yeah,
know,
it's just that's just how the NFL works. Sometimes I don't I would love for the Commanders to be the wild one to go all the way and win. It'll be a
yeah.
beautiful story, for the Eagles. Maybe they let them be the Redskins again or something. I don't know, but I I got a nice middle with this one too. But in the Bills, let me talk about the Bill games before I tell you all my bets because all my
Okay,
bets they all go
gotcha.
together. So this game too, two young quarterbacks. Um, these guys just find ways to score. Even though they do have some pretty good defense, I think either first half or second half, some way this game gets a little scory, and it's looking at over the total in that one. And
What
then
game
when
are
we
you
go
on? Which game is
I'm
that?
still on the Commanders and Eagles. I got to
Okay,
lean.
gotcha, brother.
I,
Gotcha.
I got
Okay.
well. I don't like to say lean because of my guy Tease. He hated when I said lean, but
No, no leans. We don't allow leans.
no
Go
leans,
ahead.
no locks. But I like the over in that one. Then when you look at the Bills Chief games, so I'm going to be on the Bill side simply because I don't. I've been saying it all year. The Chiefs can't keep squeaking by everybody all year and expect that to last. This is the second time they playing this Bills team this year. If this Bill team continues to come out and play at the level, I've been expecting for them to implode any week. But the defense keeps showing up. The offense shows you they can score, and they definitely have the tools needed to get past this Chiefs team. This Chiefs team, I don't even think it's the player sometimes. I think it's like Andy Reid runs this team like it's AI or something. He just knows what to do to get by. But you can't keep running by the skin of your ass. Eventually, you're going to get caught. And it's about time the Bill gang come out for a Super Bowl. They might. They say the Bill stands for what but I'll never live to see a Super Bowl. Somebody told me some crazy acronym for Bills to say that they can't win a Super Bowl. But anyways, I think maybe turn of the times they might have a chance to. I like to see the Bills in the championship. Therefore, let's go to my bets and show you how they coincide. So I got two bets. One is a teaser, a 3-team teaser, which they pay plus 150 at my book. And the other one is a money line parlay. I forgot what this money line parlay was. Let me see if I can figure it out in my head. Plus 170. Yeah, plus 170 on the parlay. So and y'all know from last week, I started to be real petty last week and cut up the show and all the spots that I called it on last week. And yes, I hit my 5-team teaser last week
Yes,
that started in the NFL and ended on Notre Dame plus 14 on Monday. So this is the super one this week. I've been hitting them all year. Y'all don't know this, but that's what's been going on.
I
My
know it.
3-teamers and my money liners been going all year. But this is I really like this one. I have Washington Commanders plus 12. I also have Washington Commander game to go over 41 and a half. Tease
Okay.
down to that. And then I have Kansas City Chiefs plus 4.5. I think that Bills and Chiefs game definitely comes down to a field goal, and I want to take. I know it's going to be close, and I want to take the Chiefs plus the 4.5.
You
Which
don't
be
want the Bills plus 8?
no,
No.
because guess what?
Guess what?
My middle would be over here with the
Oh,
Eagles.
okay. All
I
right.
got the Eagles on the money line,
Right.
minus
What?
280, parlayed
Oh,
to the Bills on the money line plus 110.
okay, I
And
got
that
you.
one gave me a 170. So I got a plus 150
All
and a
right.
plus 170.
I
They
stand
all
corrected.
coincide. I just don't need I don't need the Eagles to beat the Commanders by more than 12, right? And I need the game between the I need the Bills to win but by a field goal basically. That's it. I need Bills
Yeah.
to win by a field goal. I need the Commanders not to get beat by not to get beat by more than 12 and I should get both of them. I'll keep
Uh,
y'all updated. Follow me on
Interesting.
Twitter.
I'm going to tell you something. Washington has more categories that they are have better numbers than the Eagles. That I'm a little bit surprised at. To be honest with you, fourth down conversions for percentages. First of all, they go for it all the friggin' time. So an over always looks good. You know, you're not going to see many field goals. That under field goal prop might be might be something because neither of these teams go for it. They all go for fourth down. No one went for it. I think more than the Commanders. They have an 81% fourth down conversion rate too, no less. So they convert them. They're better at that. They're better on the third down conversion rate. They Now they got Barkley, the Eagles, right? So you would think yards per run would be dominant. It's not. 4.8 yards yards per run for the Commanders, and a little over 5, a touch over 5 for the Philly. So that means that Washington's defense, has held back the run pretty good. That's going to be
Well, also
there are
though,
some categories, there are some spots here where you can, average points per game. Washington 29, a little over 29. Philadelphia 27, but Philadelphia gives up only almost 18 points a game, where Washington's a little bit over 23. But I'm just saying, Philly isn't dominant in a lot of categories. Washington has a fighter's chance, and Smart Money says it great. And obviously, he must have obviously been a Washington fan because, well, we all hated Dan Snyder, but Washington fans really hated him. And
yeah,
besides that, he was a cancer. He says, "Is here's the question: They're rejuvenated. Do they have enough magic in the bus? That's the $1 million question. It sure is. Smart Money Bets.
yeah.
It's exactly that's the game in a nutshell, man. And I don't know if anyone could really say that they had such an edge on this game. Let me tell you, my first all year long, I didn't do this. A 3-player prop parlay plus 543. Goddard over 41.5, which I played that separately also. Total rushing and receiving yards by James Cook for Buffalo over 74.5. And then I had to throw Kelsey in over 6.5 receptions. I don't know if he's going to get his reception yards was up there. It was like in the 70s. I don't know if he's going to do that, but they'll sure as hell going to throw him the ball. like always, demands a playoff no matter what. Everyone says he's slowing down, he's getting old, he's this, he's too much involved with his girlfriend, his dad, he's on too many commercials, and the mother scores and scores and scores every playoff game. So maybe this will be his last year. If it is, he knows it's his last year. If it is going to be his last year, and he's not going to go out without So anyhow, that's my three-player prop: Goddard, Cook, and Kelsey. See what happens. Plus 543. Not a big bet. But just one for the game. And I took Goddard. And I'm gonna throw in a teaser. And I like what you did with that, with the two money lines and the teaser. I like what you did there.
Yeah, I
I
got a
like
nice
that.
middle. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
middle.
I like
But
that
yeah, that's
too.
it for us today, man. I thought Big Ragu was gonna show up for some of that
Well,
Pegasus.
he had to go up to Jacksonville, so he was on the road. He was going to talk a little bit about there's a horse race at Gulfstream Park today, the Pegasus race, and
Yeah.
he was talking about that a little bit. They had some contest on First Bet, which is a good horse racing site if you want to bet horses. Um, they had a good contest where they combined the NFL playoff games and the horse race, and they figured out whatever
Oh,
points, and you get free play and all that kind of stuff. But anyhow,
oh wow.
uh,
Oh
they had
wow.
that on First Bet. But that's what was going on. But other than that, uh, go over my games quick and we'll get out of here. We did this in less than an hour. It was tough today to get situated. We got to get a little bit more organized. I was having issues with the internet this morning, anyhow. But the games I am on, uh, UTEP minus 4.5, Vandy plus 2.5, Kansas under 128.5, Florida under 148.5. The one we didn't talk about was Drake at Missouri State. I took the over 118.5, and I'm gonna take Xavier tonight in the first half when I see the line against UConn.
Nice.
And Xavier's home off that overtime win against St. John's. Remember the guys in our chat? They were all on St. John's, and they had to sweat that out, but they got the cover in the end. But that was an overtime game against a good St. John's team. So Marquette was playing last night. We watched that Marquette game. We hit with the over in that Marquette game.
Oh
They got now they're
yeah.
tied. Now they're tied for first in St. John's in the Big East. So the Big East is
It
coming
was.
back a little bit. We got some play. We got a little bit of after a couple of years of a little bit of a lull. We're back in the swing of things. Georgetown's playing a little bit better. Villanova has a couple of good players that are coming along. So that's about it. That's what I
There
got
we
for
go.
you.
There we go. I got my guy. I've been asking my guy Pooh Dangles for years to give us those boxing bets. He's a big boxing
What do you
fan.
got?
So he said he doesn't know much about betting, but he says take the underdog tonight in the fight with Pacheco and Nelson. I'm not
You know
sure
who
who
the
the
underdog
underdog
is?
is. I
Oh,
can bring
okay,
it up. I
okay.
can bring it up.
Yeah,
Let's
look it
see.
up. Yeah, we're no rush. Go ahead. Um,
Let's see.
Last time I went to
Boxing.
the fights, we went to the Canelo fight at the Barclays Center a couple of years ago. Remember that kid Titus I knew that was boxing? He was on the
Yeah.
undercard. Yeah, that was good. He don't do it no more. But him and those guys, they trained some guys out of Houston. They're into the training thing. They have some kind of boxing spot in Houston in there. Supposedly they got a Golden Gloves kid coming up. So hopefully they get lucky with a fighter trying to build it gets a little stable or whatever the hell they're doing. But there's some
Yeah.
good kids, man. They're into the boxing thing. There's some Titus. What was his last name?
Titus was his last name, wasn't it?
It was
Oh, here we go. Pacheco Nelson. That Steve
what's the line?
Nelson's plus 230. I'm gonna put a little bit on that right now.
A little bit over 2-1. That's not too bad. Yeah, Daryl leads the Commanders tomorrow. Listen, we all would love to see that. I think more people than not would love to see the Commanders against the Bills in the Super Bowl. I mean, if you want, the Chiefs are starting to get some hate. Well, that happens, after a team is so dominant, little by little, yeah, people start, hating on them anyhow. And plus, we want to see, we don't, it's about time for the Chiefs to start taking that step back. And if any quarterback deserves it, a trip to the Super Bowl again, just Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to be the MVP. I think they gave it to Lamar, but I thought Lamar had a lot more weapons and that Josh Allen was more valuable to his team. Um, if it wasn't such a quarterback-driven award, you could make a case for Barkley for Philly to be the most valuable player also. But that's a whole nother
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, DJ. Let's get out of here, man. Thank you guys for coming in and joining us. We're going to be on every Saturday. We might change to 11 o'clock. We'll see. But we're going to be on every Saturday. Like we said, we're building up to March Madness. Next 4 weeks is going to be up. It's going to be some good basketball. So keep your eye on some. Don't let that recency bias get you. Don't let the
Yes,
teams
sir.
step up when it gets to conference play and towards the they need certain wins. They got to beat certain teams. They're keying on those teams more than others. The college basketball is tricky, so keep your mind on that. We have plays. If almost every day we put out plays on Who-Bangin Sports Talk on Twitter and on what else we on? We put it out on Instagram. If not, we will
Instagram,
be. Yeah.
TikTok, all that. We go on all
I
that
mean,
stuff.
so look for them. If you don't see a play for that day, that's because we didn't put them out. We only put out plays that we bet ourselves. We never put out plays that we don't bet. We don't put out plays just because it's the popular game of the day. So, and when we win, we say yeah we won, and when we lose, we say yeah we lost. So,
Yep.
it's either way. It's not. It's the long end game, like we know. So, but I appreciate everybody coming in, and
Let's
maybe
get
we'll
out
have
of
some picks
here.
for tomorrow. Let's do it.
We out of here.